If you're thinking of moving to Oklahoma and wanting to buy a property with a private septic system, you've come to the right place. There are two types of septic systems in Oklahoma for the private systems, the conventional and the aerobic. So growing up, my family always had a septic tank, which is the conventional system, but we were always on like 5 acres or more when we had this. Aerobic systems are actually more common, and that started around 10 years ago when they became more common. So I often see my buyers have a little bit of apprehension about being on a private septic system, especially if you've never been on one. So I'm Marcie Billen. I'm a real estate agent here in the Oklahoma City Metro. Each week, I release free content just for you all about what it's like to live here in Oklahoma. So if you're wanting to buy a property or sell a property here in Oklahoma, would you give me a call? I would be thrilled to help you. So what is the difference between an aerobic system and a conventional system? Well, an aerobic system uses oxygen to break down the waste. In a nutshell, the aerobic system has 3 different tanks on it. So it has the trash tank, and it has the treatment tank, and then the pump tank. In Oklahoma, the installer of the aerobic systems, they have to do any sort of fixes or any maintenance on the aerobic system up to 2 years after they install it at no cost to the owner. So on a conventional system, oxygen is not used. This is an anaerobic system. So for the conventional system or the septic tank, there's one big tank where bacteria lives, and then there are horizontal pipes that lay out through the drain field. We call these lateral lines, and they have little holes in them, so they're perforated. And that's how the treated water gets reintroduced back into the environment. So aerobic systems are really good for smaller lots of land, like half an acre to an acre is where I usually see these aerobic systems. And this is because they are more efficient. Aerobic systems might be more environmentally friendly as well, as they don't leach as much into the environment. So aerobic systems have a sprinkler system or a drip system that reintroduces the water back into the environment. But conventional systems or the septic tanks may be less expensive upfront. The technology for the septic tank or the conventional septic system is not nearly as complicated as the aerobic system. There are just less moving parts on the tank than there is the aerobic system. Sometimes the maintenance can be easier on the conventional or the tank than the aerobic system as well. Aerobic systems can be pricier up front, but I've heard varying opinions on this, on which is more expensive. Aerobic systems do have a higher chance of failure, and they do need more maintenance. Conventional septic systems need more space than the aerobic systems because of how it's all set up. Conventional systems often don't work well with like really sandy soil or a lot of clay, which is one of the reasons they don't often work well here in Oklahoma, is we have a lot of clay in our soil. Conventional systems also more easily contaminate the groundwater, which could be an issue. You're going to need to take all of these things into consideration if you're thinking of purchasing a property that needs to have or already has a private septic system. If you have any more questions, you just let me know in the comments. And make sure you watch this video next.